1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, there's not much of it's not like a grand story. It kind of just happened.
I think we met before we actually even knew that we met. Because we had known each other from soccer, and we started playing soccer together really young. But then we found out through talking that we played tennis together and had like the same tennis coach before we even knew who each other were.
We met back in Arizona. We're both from Phoenix, and we went to high school together, actually. We were in the same freshman homeroom.
Long time ago. A lot has happened since then.
Yeah, and then I guess from there we actually met playing club soccer from 3rd grade, I think it was, all the way up until we finished high school. And we really became friends through that experience.
We're now roommates, and we have a house together.
And we've been roommates for 4 years and have a podcast together.
So on the first day of school, we were all put in our little groups. I don't know, what do you call them?
For our major groups.
Yeah, for our orientation group. And there was a bunch of people in the room, but you could kind of feel out who you'd be friends with, who you wouldn't. And I don't know, I saw Anya and I was like, oh, she seems cool. I don't know. And then we ended up talking, and she told me she liked my hair or something.
And it's the awkward stage where no one has any friends yet, and you're trying anything to just, I don't know, no one knew what to say, so I thought it was an easy way to say hi.
Yeah, and then I asked her if she was when she said she was from Boulder, I asked her if she knew where Pearl Street was, and she laughed, and then we ended up getting along, and I think it was just I don't want to say love at first sight, friends at first sight, but
So Jason and Nuna had met each other the first week of school, pretty much.
Wednesday night,
at a party.
I went up to Nuna.
Pretty much said, I'm gonna play music with you. Forced Nuna to play drums. Nuna had played drums forever, I think.
Yep, I lied.
So they started jamming together. Then I had met Jason and Nuna maybe a month or 2 later. I'd been playing violin, but not so much recently. Played bass when I was a kid. And I found out they were into music, so I was like, yeah, I'll play some bass for you guys. Got pretty into it, and then a few months down the road, we had known Jack for a bit, but for some reason we just had never, played music with him. And finally, we just broke the ice, and we were like, hey, you want to come jam with us, at this one place? And after that, it was a dope jam, and the rest is history, pretty much.
Yeah. I know Chris and I always wanted to start a company, and this is when Vineyard Vines is a big thing, so we had all these preppy clothing ideas, and I think that started the interest of having a clothing brand. And I don't know where Nice as Heck came from. Chris did it. I didn't start it initially. He came up with the idea and just printed stickers, and then I just bugged him enough to be like, hey, can I be a part of this for a year? And then he let me on. So it was in Chris's basement. He had this little screen printing thing that we got from Michael's or whatever, and we were just fucking them up. Went through 30 different shirts trying to get one good. And yeah, so we were printing shirts, but it started with the stickers, I think. I remember we had a box of 100 of them, and we put on our Snapchat with 25 cents a sticker, and they sold out quick in our high school, and they're everywhere. So I think that was the first step of it, at least. But there's me and Chris wearing a Vineyard Vine shirt, and there's the screen that we made from Michael's and
I didn't
shit.
even get one of those from Michael's.
Yeah, and then it has this Nice as Heck banner. So yeah, that's how it started, which is funny.
Yeah, I like the size. I thought it was really pretty. I actually hadn't heard of Chapman before I applied, the day before. I didn't know where I wanted to go, and I remember they were visiting my high school, and I just wanted to skip class, so I went to the presentation that the guy had, and I was the only person that showed up to the Chapman presentation, and so, but I ended up really vibing with the admissions guy, and everything that the pamphlet said is what I wanted, I guess. I've also always wanted to live in California and go to a school kind of near LA but not in LA.
Chapman was one of the ones I got into, and once I got into the film program, I was like, that's sweet.
There we go.
And yeah, and then Lucas got in as well, and I guess.
I remember when we were talking, I had like just left your house or something. I was driving by your house and I had called you. And then we just started yelling in the car. Because we both got like the notification right around like literally the exact same time.
Well, when I first walked on Chapman's campus, before I'd even committed going there, I saw the 4 pillars in the middle of the campus, and that immediately was kind of a sign for me, because I realized, okay, this school wants you to explore other things outside of academia, and it was about balancing spirituality, social, intellectual, and physical, right? And so I immediately was like, okay, this is gonna be different. Like the people here are the people that are drawn to have kind of a more balanced lifestyle. And it pretty much has proven out. From day one, we were immediately immersed with creative people, Andres and Lucas, Cam.
No, Matt was just like a super supportive friend about it the whole time, and he always like, yeah, it's so cool that you're doing this. And because we almost gave up on it. I know we talked about this on the podcast, but we were like done with it. And then I remember like Matt's always bought stuff from us. Like he has everything that we've ever owned, which was like awesome.
Yeah, I'd say me and Cam definitely sparked off an instant friendship.
Oh, we just live in the past. Lost in emotions and they moving slowly and I'm moving fast. Still getting caught in the traps in the past and they so
The initial impressions were he was just some goofy kind of kid from Chicago who had a brand with a really cool name, and I really liked kind of what he had going and his creativity and hustle. And he also gave me an original Nice as Heck 2015 hoodie, which is pretty cool. It's been awesome to see what it's blossomed into, and I'd say I've definitely been supportive here for him. I've organized their warehouse a couple times and helped them with moving stuff around and logistics. And I'm always here to help. They're good guys, and they're out being busy, which is what all people should be doing.
So the first time I met Cam, I think it was literally the first night of O Week. We messaged each other. Maybe we were texting by that time.
Yeah. So it was the first day of freshman year, and Andres slid into the DMs, as we know. And me and Matt were roommates, like randomly assigned roommates. And then Andres, I remember I'm like sitting on my desk fingerboarding, and like Andres knocks on the door, Andres and Lucas, and I'm like, what's up?
And we all met up at Cam's room, which he was roommates with Matt, and Lucas was my roommate, so I brought Lucas along, and obviously Matt was there. And
they're like, let's go get drunk. And I'm like, what, dude? And I didn't know O Week was a thing. I thought like everyone was just like chilling for the first week of school. And so we go and spend $30 on a rack. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, what's funny is we couldn't find the place for the longest of time of where we first kind of met with this 30 rack we got from Hooves with, I believe it was me, Cam, Andres, Lucas, and there was also a ragtag gang of Saman, Alexi, Josh was there, and a few other kind of people within that circle.
And we were sitting outside the church in your house. Or not in your house, across from your house. In your house, yeah. And we're just sipping there, and I remember like our roommate Gary had like 2 beers. He's like, guys, I'm fucked up. And we're like, what, dude? And that, I don't know. But that happened.
But we got the 30 rack at Hooves, and then we went to some sort of church-looking thing. It was dark, and we don't really remember. But this actually ended up being right across the street from your house, Ella. So the first time we kind of all met, we were hopping in between parties, seeing what the Chapman party scene was like, wherever 6 to 8 guys could get in during O Week.
And I think we tried to get to a Pike party, but we brought a sofa that we found on the side of the road.
Alexi, because he's a big dude, and I want to say Lucas were carrying a couch they found for free into a Pike party, and the Pikes thought that we stole the couch, and then they proceeded to aggressively kick out Alexi and Lucas, while the rest of us kind of just snaked our way in through the back.
And we tried to bring it to the Pike party, like thinking they'd love it, and they're like, get the fuck out of here.
Sofa.
We walked up with the sofa, and they're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they're like, you can't come anymore.
We just, had a great time that night. Got pretty rowdy, and I think that was literally the start of our friendship with all those guys, and I'm I'm so glad it's still like that today.
You know, we met Andres and Lucas in the dorms. We met them in Moreland dorms, like literally North Moreland dorms, which was funny. They lived right below both of us, and so we would always just like see them around, and we ended up hanging out with them a lot. And I don't know, just like always going down to their room to hang out. And then somehow I like got involved in a project where I had to wear like a box on my head and be like a TV girl, and it was with Josh, one of their friends too.
It was dope because like I saw like right away that they were kind of all on their shit and doing their own thing, which was a really cool thing to see. You know, Cam had nice as heck, and they were just Andres and Lucas were kind of just starting ALTO, it seemed like, or at least revamping it a little bit. And Andres, Lucas, and I were in film school together, so I actually wrote a short film with them, like really early on, like first semester.
I mean, it was just so nice and refreshing to be around people that didn't think it was weird to like start a podcast, or they didn't think it was weird to have a clothing company.
We could have never done that in Arizona.
Yeah, if we were in Arizona, like we would have been judged, or like no one would have supported us to take ourselves seriously. And I'm forever grateful for that.
When you're surrounded by more creative thinkers, it's a spectrum as well. There are people who are more creative, there are people who are less, there are people that are not at all. But I think that here, because you have people of all different backgrounds on that spectrum, it fostered the best environment for us to feel comfortable and honestly encouraged. It's not just, you won't get looked down upon or you won't get judged. It's also like, you should do this.
You know, we practiced, we were prepared, and then we get there and it's still like so scary to like be in front of all these people that you kind of know, kind of don't know, like new friends, old friends, whatever. And then just seeing people react like that and like love it and just be so accepting, and then again like having people to work with you and collaborate and want to just like help with the project you're doing is just so rewarding. It makes every like second worth it.
I think it was the first time hearing them. I had heard that there was this band like in the dorms in Moreland, and I was like, I didn't really know much about it, but I always hear them practice, and I was like, oh my god, they practice a lot. But I first saw them at that show, I think, and it was just like a little backyard show, super cute, and everyone was there, everyone was vibing, having a good time, and I was like, wow, these guys are actually really good. They're super talented. And
Chloe used to live at a house that Ella and we share so many good memories at, and like many other houses at Chapman, people just go into backyards and we just have fun, we figure it out, we make our own fun.
We want to use your backyard for a house show because it was kind of like a perfect setup with the grass and the trees, and kind of felt like a little jungle.
I think that was like my most nervous show, probably, was that backyard.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that was like our first like run of shows sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was starting with that backyard show. Like, I remember being extremely nervous.
Yeah, that was also the first time I met a lot of the people that we're friends with now, was that show. And like that was extremely nerve-wracking to me, but it felt so good afterwards. It was awesome.
So they ended up having their first show there, and I remember like some key memories from that. My bedroom was like in the back of the house, so they were kind of using that as like their little green room. And I remember, I think it was like Jason and Kimber were really nervous.
And just everybody brought the best energy, and I remember Chloe was like so excited, not only to show off the house and be like the host, but
yeah, I remember being kind of caught off guard that day because Chloe, she texted me and she's like, come over, like we're gonna drink, we're gonna date. And the next thing I know, I get there and she's saying, oh, a band's coming. And I go, what? Like, what's happening? And
what band?
And yeah. So I go outside and this band is setting up, and I start talking to Kimber and Nav and the guys, and I'm like, okay, these guys are cool. And I text a bunch of people that I know, including Megan, who ended up becoming their band manager, and that was the first time that she had ever even heard them.
I don't know, I hadn't like really been interested in like managing yet, but like I just thought in the back of my head, like, wow, these guys are really good, like they know what they're doing.
You know, and those shows, I still like see those pictures and get a little like teary, you know, like.
Yeah, so I had heard them a few times. At this point, it was in 2019. I think it was in like August or September. I ended up like reaching out to them via like Instagram DM, just asking if they needed a manager or had a manager, if I could pitch them something and see if maybe we could work together.
She DM'd me, or no, fuck, I forget. I don't know if she remember, like, if she DM'd me or the band. I don't know if she's ever even heard this, but like, at first we were very hesitant because we didn't know Megan at all, you know, like I did a little bit, but not that much, you know.
Having a manager is also a lot. Having somebody say that they're your manager is a kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, but there was like some trepidation just because we didn't really know what we were doing at all and anything like that. But like,
and the rest of us only knew like her YouTube channel.
Yeah, we only knew what she had done on like YouTube and stuff. We were like,
vlogging.
How does this girl know it's good music and stuff like that? But anyway, like, we urged, you know, to just take a meeting with her and do it, and
they let me come over to their house. I remember the day like really vividly because I was nervous and I had like this whole thing planned. I'd written out this whole plan for them on a Google Doc and made sure I had all this stuff on there when I got there, like pitched to them, and you know how they are, they're like so laid back, casual. They were all just like, yeah, sounds good. Like, take it over, here's our passwords to everything. And I was like, all right. And then like from that day on, I just like was like, kind of like their band mom, like the manager, and just like helping them like get their stuff together so that they could have like a really good presence on social media, get them booked a lot of shows, and just like continue to grow their name. And then like over time, we've just gotten closer and got to work on so many different things now, and yeah, I just love getting to work with them.
Literally, like, that was like the start of us, I think, becoming like a straight professional band for sure. Like, that was like the roots of it right there, and like, she's like the fifth member, like, no doubt.
Totally.
Right?
Everything changed when she joined. It was crazy. I remember that Monday, there was like, we talked to her that weekend, and then she sent out a bunch of emails on Monday, and then by the I think Tuesday night we had like 4 or 5 shows lined up.
Yeah, well, because we all like have like the drive, you know, to do what we're doing, but all that energy really goes into the music for the most part, and especially at that time too. And we just weren't proactive at all about you know, sending stuff, doing booking, and, you know, getting our social media up and whatever, and she, like, totally handled that part and, like, got us on our shit.
I would say what I appreciate about our friend group a lot is everyone kind of has an athletic background to them, which makes them appreciate spontaneity, being with other people, having fun, having a sense of community. So I think that translated really well to the actual friendship and hanging out with each other, making sure we're planning something, whether it's literally 5 minutes before we do it or a week in advance. We're not the best planners, so thankfully we have a lot of friends.
A week's like a year.
Yeah, but I don't know, I think at the core of it, that's kind of like a common theme that I've seen. A lot of people just like to be outside that we're friends with and like to be with each other, so I think that naturally progressed to wanting to work on projects together and wanting to explore our creative side and how we express ourselves and how we express ourselves through our entrepreneurial endeavors. And I don't know, it just led to a community of everyone just supporting each other. So I think that's what I value a lot about all the friendships we've made.
Yeah, Andres and Lucas, I don't remember exactly what we were just like, we need to do a photo shoot. And then we just recruited like everyone we knew that could help, and we had like 10 of us doing random shit around it. And yeah, I don't know, I remember Andres because none of us knew how to like use studio lighting, and that's like a whole world of its own. And we go, and the guy's like, you guys rented a studio and you don't know how to use the fucking lights in here. We're like just hitting buttons and stuff. And I remember he took like the first few photos and he's like, dude, like look at this. And it was it looked like professional, and we were like, we're on to something. So I posted like a photo on my Instagram of like behind the scenes. And I remember all of our friends from high school were like, wow, you guys are like professional now. And this is, because it looked like super professional. Because we just like shot stuff in like our basement before, so I think that was kind of like the catalyst, like everyone DMing us and like, this is so sick, like you guys, like I don't know.
And something bad is about to happen to me. I don't know what I
Nomo had like one of their second concerts at Andres and Benin and Lucas's house, and they were playing inside, and then Nice as Heck was selling their clothes outside.
Well, that's when we met, isn't it? That was the first time you met.
Professional salesman.
Really? Because I feel like I used to be like, hey, do you guys want this? And they're like, oh, I want this. And I'm like, no, you don't have to buy it if you don't want it. Like, don't buy it. And I would like, I'd unsell them. They'd want it, and then they'd be like, oh, never mind.
He's selling clothes, and I don't know who this kid is, and these clothes look absolutely professionally made, like displayed in this really cool way, like real
So
posters.
detailed.
Everything was so detailed. He has like a real sales machine and all this stuff, and I literally thought he was a professional salesman. I thought
Hired
him
on for
was
the
literally
day.
hired on from the day, like coming down from LA, and I was having a conversation with him like that, and then he was like, wait, aren't you like in my advertising class? And I was like, wait a second, you go here?
So that was the first time we ever sold stuff in person. And I just remember, because we had like 4 items, right? And I remember we sold, it was just, I was running back and forth all night from my car to like get clothes, because it was like we sold out of stuff in that one night. And there were only like 50 people there, and I was like, what in the world is this? Like, we're on to something here.
And yeah, I think that that's kind of, it kind of shows the level of professionalism that went into our friend's work, even from early on.
So that night definitely was like another catalyst. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
Catalyst?
catalyst.
Catalyst, like spark.
Yeah, I mean, we'd been playing shows more that semester, that year, I guess. But we had never put on something like
Of our
a
own.
few artists, get a few vendors, and like make it an actual night of just like
Fun.
creation and fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was one of the first real events, or real where, you know, it wasn't at a house, and, you know, had a more extended community, you know, because anyone that wanted to go to the bar that night, you know, was there.
Well, I guess if it hasn't been said already, it was Nice as Heck, collaboration with Nice as Heck, Nomo, ALTO, being a part of the Stranger Than Paradise release, and then also the artists that were featured, which Anya was there. And
Yeah, it was a professional event that didn't feel very professional.
That was stressful though, because I think that was the first time we did like a big collection. I think there were like 8 or 9 pieces in it, and that was a big jump from like 4 to 5 or whatever we were doing. So I remember that was happening, and we were trying to make this video, and then I woke up. I like didn't sleep the night before because the video wasn't done, and we were supposed to premiere the video at the thing. Megan's a beast. She literally, I remember she did everything.
Yeah, at the event, everything ended up coming together, and we had live music, we had a bunch of artists there, and it was a really good time. I think everyone really enjoyed themselves, and everyone came in costume for Halloween, which is really fun too. And
Yeah, the show took a lot of influence from our couple of first shows, where it was pretty similar. Like April 6th, we played a gig freshman year, where there's just a bunch of like Chapman local artists and a bunch of people selling clothes, and it was just like a really wholesome vibe. Everyone was having a good time.
And it just, in my head, it seemed like this big premiere, like, oh, like our first whatever party and movie or whatever you want to call it. So it seemed like a really big deal to me, so I was like stressing out, like, we need to finish this video. It's gonna get seen in 4 hours or whatever it was.
But we got to play our film. It was Stranger Than Paradise was the name of the collection, and also the film that paired with it. And it was so much fun. We got it on like a big projector, and Cam and I and Matt all went up there, and we just kind of told everybody like how much we appreciated them being there.
Paradise is strange. Will I ever make it there?
New shit, standing on the corner. Y'all niggas wanna, y'all niggas wanna, y'all niggas wanna, y'all niggas
We had the projector going. We had different bands playing. We had Nomo playing. Right after that,
did Blue Dream play?
Blue Dream played. And towards the end of the night, it was Matt Lizer, Andres, and Cam get on stage.
So yeah, I don't know, and then like we got on the stage and like talked and stuff, and that was like kind of surreal.
Yeah.
And definitely like with COVID happening now, it seems even more surreal, 'cause it's like, when is that experience gonna happen again? Well, never in college again.
And the energy was just there. I don't know. It was a great night.
Y'all should insert photos of each of them on the stage because they were in really funny outfits.
Yeah.
Halloween. It was Halloween.
I have a video of the entire speech.
Let's go. Insert that. That's adorable.
Me being drunk.
I remember.
Thank you, Mom.
I was pretty drunk at that point too, but I remember. Yeah.
But that was probably, the coolest night of my college experience so far too, that we like threw a whole event and like people came and people had fun and got kicked out by bouncers and stuff, and
People cared that much that they were willing to get kicked out.
Yeah, it's like they drove down. Yeah, Lucas got kicked out and sat outside for like 2 hours.
I didn't get kicked out like Lucas did.
Well, all I'll say is I ended up talking to a homeless dude for like an hour while I waited for the event to taper down and I could sneak back in, but the bouncer still wasn't having it. I was trying to give him a hug and be nice to him. Well, what happened is I had alcohol outside and I didn't want to pay for alcohol, so I would just sneak outside and take a sip every like 20 minutes, and of course he started to catch on, the same dudes going in and out like a freaking fly, but yeah.
It was a rowdy night, but that's how things like that should be. When you've seen a process and people working hard together, you deserve to celebrate. And at the end of the day, it was a party.
Yeah, that night was great, just because it's like Matt said, like that was our first time putting on something on our own, and I think it really showed us, like kind of, I guess a little more of like influence that we had, and like which was great. But like also Matt said, it was for sure overwhelming. Like at times, like putting on all these events and like doing this stuff is not like an easy task, and like it made me gain so much more respect for the planning that goes into putting on shows and festivals and stuff like that, and definitely put me in that mindset, and I really enjoy it now for sure. But it's all worth it once we play. Like that's the best part.
Showing what they bring to the world from their creative position, and it was just celebrating that at a dive bar in Costa Mesa.
I remember the morning after. Do you remember that? We were all like so hungover, and I just had like bins of clothes like everywhere, and we were trying to like count inventory, and I didn't even know how to use Excel. Like I didn't even know how to type stuff in, and you're like, "Let me help you." So I think that's what started.
Yeah, that's true. I totally forgot about that.
Because I was like literally clothes everywhere, and I was like trying to count on my fingers how many there were, and I was like Excel,
Basically, we were all working together on the Fudge collection release. It was me, Andres, Cam, Lucas, Matt Lizer, and Chris. And, Lucas and Andres were doing the film stuff. Chris was handling the clothes and Matt and Lizer and I were doing the finance stuff. So I kind of helped them with a lot of the back end stuff, especially with the new website. And it was really cool to see the Fudge video come to place. We'll definitely link some of the
Fudge is one of my favorites
ever.
I mean, I felt like I was a part of it even though I wasn't a part of it. But I was like a first-hand bystander.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of our other friends were too.
Washington was cool because Andres and Lucas did like all of that. Like me and Chris just showed up and like we got drunk and like got to be, we were like actors essentially. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have to do anything, and that was awesome because that was like our first like business trip. It's like we had to pay for it still, like personally, but it felt like legit. It was like I remember I was like in the Uber. And me and Chris like FaceTime my dad, and we're like, we're going on our first business trip. Like, who would have thought? And then my dad's like, yeah, but who paid for it? And we're like fucking paying for the flights to get there and stuff. So that was cool. And I think the result of Fudge was just like, and like what's the word? Like the reception of Fudge was like so much crazier than anything else with TikTok and all the influencers, and and John B and all them and Cody Cohen. It was like that. Yeah, and that was crazy. I think that was. It's still surreal. Like yesterday or 2 days ago, he was wearing our shirt and he posted it, and it's like feels like surreal now, or not surreal. It feels like real now. But I remember in like October, I'm in class, in some communications class, and I get a DM or notification saying Madeline Klein tagged you in a post, and I'm in Zoom, and I scream, and my mom's like cutting hair because she's like a hairdresser. And she's cutting hair in my house, and she like thinks I cut my finger off. She thought I was cooking or something, and she comes out screaming, and I was like, no way. And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like freaking the fuck out.
Mom, I get it.
Yeah, and then I was like, look, and then my mom started screaming because I showed her that she posted, because she watched Outer Banks too, and then my mom started screaming, and I literally started crying. I was like, this is ridiculous. And then that was cool because the only part of making fudge that was stressful for me was I was in charge of finding the music for it, and it was like the video was gonna come out like literally the next day, and me and Scout were trying to make a soundtrack to it. It just sounded like shit, and we were just like, fuck, dude, I don't want to do this again. So with Timber, I was a little bit more hands-on with like the directing and editing, so it was just like already way more stressful. And just no, I was like to Kimber, I was telling him about it like the whole time, like the idea of it, and he's like, I know exactly what we need to do. So having them do it, and they made the song in like 3 hours or something. I like texted them, I was like, we want a song just like this. They sent me like a voice memo, and it was like they did it. So
It's so sick.
that was good, and like took a lot of stress off of me for sure. But it's like your best friends making a sweet ass song for the video, and they should do punk music. Maybe they should play it tonight. Oh my god! Holy fuck! Are they here? I'm gonna tell them to play it tonight.
Yes.
The winner wins, they like to bite us, yeah. Time keeps rolling in, no doubt the shore will rip my ship to the
Yeah, certainly. So I think kind of the most beautiful part of the people around us in our immediate circle is the cross collaboration that happens. A bunch of creative and business-minded individuals somehow kind of linked up together in a time where, you know, you're usually partying and having a lot of fun, but it's really cool to kind of see the creativity that goes along with Rugtimize. It's something that from starting from sophomore year, I wanted to introduce and bring, you know, to my friend group, and to show what I've been doing and the potential of something that I'm associated with, you know, and that I care so much about. And so that's why, you know, once we started doing artist collaborations, which we found a lot of success for our kind of business model of custom rugs, Anya was the first person I wanted to go to reach out to and make a rug for.
Yeah, I mean, that was just so cool to see my art, I guess, just like come to life in a different form that I had never seen. And it's like my favorite thing I have in my room is that rug. It's like the centerpiece. Everyone that goes to my room is always like surprised by it, I guess, because it is such a statement piece. Yeah, Matt just like approached me. They were doing like a series where they collaborated with a bunch of different artists, put their art on a rug. And some of the artists were like artists that I had like looked up to for a really long time, so it felt like really cool to be like included in that thing, like, oh, I'm like on like that same level or something like that, I guess.
And then the other rug we did, I gave a Nomo rug to Jack. They've been big supporters of Rug Demise at all their shows. I think we started Freaky Tiki with putting a bunch of rugs out there. Made a tapestry for them for the Freaky Tiki show, which was a cross collaboration of, gosh, that was Nice as Heck and Nomo and Anya and so many other Chapman artists. It was such an awesome time to be a part of that. And then their most recent kind of tour.
Yeah, that was a crazy time. I am so thankful that I Googled the coordinates before it all went down, because I was showing Ella like on the map. The coordinates were like in the middle of like buttfuck nowhere, and we had to like go through dirt and like gravel and around rocks and like pretty much off-roading the whole time to get there.
Dust was a low.
Jordan's car getting
My
stuck
car
in
almost
the sand was a low.
I almost had to abandon
it. Getting blown up and me having to wait at Denny's for several hours for it to get repaired was a low.
So there were some L's.
But there was way more highs, I would argue.
I agree. One of them being that it was pretty much a party the entire time we were there. I think we slept maybe an hour. And just the vibe of having, like, we journeyed there, right? And after every journey, like, the reward's going to be ultimately a lot more present. You're going to remember it more viscerally.
So I made a point to not bring my car, and I'm sorry to anyone that did, but we ended up making it out alive, all of us, and it was a wonderful time. One of like the highlights was obviously Nomo playing. I feel like that was just like everyone coming back together and like kind of an emotional moment for a lot of us, because I just felt like so grateful that things were falling back into place and that we could have that special time together, since we're all seniors and going off in different directions soon. So there were a few tiny tears shed, but it was
Happy
wonderful.
tears.
Yeah, happy tears.
We got rewarded with amazing music, amazing views. We were literally off the grid. Felt like we were completely disconnected, and that really allowed everybody who was there to just be with each other. And after the pandemic and everything, we just appreciate live music so much more. I really missed it. Like, I needed that in my life.
It was like therapeutic. We basically were off-roading for 40 minutes. Like, you had to get there with coordinates.
Maybe more, like an hour.
There was literally zero service for the entire time. We all were in tents or sleeping in our cars, limited food. And like Jordan said, like, it just allowed us all to just focus on the music and focus on each other's presence. And even now when you go to a festival, I mean, you have your people are recording and they want to find
like social media photos, like photo ops. You're caring about what your social media looks like, taking videos to prove to people you're there. This was none of that. It was just, okay, for right now, we only have walkie-talkies. Like, that's the only way we could potentially communicate with someone within a vicinity. So yeah, it was amazing, and I want that to happen again. I hope in the future they do another show like that.
Yeah.
Playing that show was
wild.
dope as fuck.
That
It was a chimp fest. Like, everyone was just like
chimp fest?
It was a chimp fest. Like, everyone was going silverback, like not
Gorilla.
Everyone was there to, it was like the pinnacle, like, of everything, and like it felt like we were entering a new era and stuff like that, and it was just like really surreal just playing there in general, It was
No, I share a similar viewpoint on Chapman. The first time I stepped foot on campus and I was just talking to random students, I felt like there was a really happy, joyful, and authenticity, like, nature to it, to the community, and that's what led me to want to come here. And even freshman year, meeting people like Andres, Lucas, Cam. I've had classes with some of them. Cam, I didn't even know I had a class with until like 2 years ago when I finally realized that we had a class together. But as we've gone on through these years and gotten closer with people and realized that there's a lot of that creative passion that people share, but in different ways. It's just brought me closer to them, and I've looked up to them for so long, and I am prideful of us too. So it's like a very mutual, beneficial type of relationship.
As phenomenal as the design program is at Chapman, I think an essential part of like the design process is exposure to different art forms. And so having like a community and a group of friends that are all invested in their own like niche things is definitely super inspiring and drives me to do better for myself as a creative. And it's been nice to see like where they're at in their careers and be inspired by them and be able to collaborate on different things, such as like the Nice as Heck website that I'm helping Cam work on, and doing some stuff with Matt for Rug to Mice. So. And
I feel blessed that I kind of fell upon Chapman in like a whimsical way, you know. It was one of the only schools I got into in California that wasn't on the East Coast. So, and the random draw of being able to have Cam as a roommate freshman year to kind of bring all of these different networks of geographically diverse people around Chapman. I wouldn't be the person I am today if I went to Boulder or A&M.
I don't know where we'll be in the next year or so, but the plan is we're moving to like closer to LA.
I don't know, dude. I'm so up in the air with everything right now.
I'm living my life day by day. I'm tackling 1% of my goals a day. You know, slow and steady wins the race.
I did just get an internship that I'm super excited about with, they're called Red Light Management, and they're like a music marketing company, and I'm working in the EDM department. Not a huge EDM lover, but I'm excited for it regardless. Just doing graphic design for them, and it's based in LA. I don't really want to live in LA, but I will go there for now.
Just like write more songs. Living in Costa Mesa, it's like a nice chill place. We can just keep up the grind. Yeah,
Close
really
enough
nice
to the beach.
scene. Close to the beach, close to LA and San Diego, which are two scenes we kind of want to hit and tap into. And yeah, just really like focus on our craft and get our feet off the ground and try to establish ourselves as much as possible locally and online.
Yeah, even though we're moving to New York, I plan to still manage Nomo, help them with their shows, and hopefully they'll get to come out to the East Coast and do New York and actually like do shows there, which would be super cool. Yeah, it would be super fun. And then just for me on the side, I just think like I'll probably be just doing something within management, whether it's in music or it's in film, TV, something like that. I'm going to grad school for media management for the next 2 years, so I'll probably be doing something with that. Also just like entrepreneur things like that, like little businesses on the side. I feel like I love to have my hands on like every project I can, so yeah, we'll see.
Thing that I think as we look into this next phase after graduation that everyone's gonna keep in touch, and we're all gonna hopefully be on small projects together or even big projects. I don't know. I'm open to it, but
I feel like I'm just in denial that school is ending, but at the same time I'm super excited that everyone's lives are just beginning. Like everyone's doing what they love to do, doing it with people that they love to be around, and I just know moving forward, you know, everyone's gonna stay in touch. We're all gonna meet up to do whatever it is, whether we travel or whether we go visit someone. So I don't know, I'm just really excited for the future, and I'm really appreciative for my experience here and the people I've met.
Well, I've been really getting into like freelance design, specifically in the music industry. I've just been like super lucky that I have like this dream job for where I'm at right now, like working at Universal Music Group, and like I want to continue doing that and like get larger roles within that and kind of break into the art scene in New York and continue to have like that side thing, like do Caracross on the side and then like also work in the music industry and like fuse the two together. But I don't know, anything could change.
I would like to position myself to come back here. A lot of our friends are kind of settling down and networking up in LA. Definitely just working my hardest to see where we can get Rug to Mice and custom rug business, and working on my side hustles and ambitions for freelancing, and yeah.
And gonna try doing ALTO full time, and we definitely have made, you know, an extended plan on the key like milestones we gotta hit. But I mean, we're totally looking forward to it and couldn't be more excited about it. It's what we love to do, and we're trying to make it our full job. And we're definitely excited. We think big things. We're in blast-off mode.
ALTO to the moon, baby. I think what's also been going on too is like school, whether we're in a lot of classes and we have an intense workload, it's just kind of always in the back of our mind. So we feel like, you know, we've never put 100% into ALTO, nor have we really known exactly how to put that 100% in. We've always just been kind of chipping away until, you know, we have like an aha moment, then we go do that, and then it's the next aha moment. But now like all the aha moments are coming together, and we're formulating a game plan, a strategy.
I think we've always just, and this is like the philosophy, it sounds cheesy, but it's like a really genuine from all of us. It's like the purpose of Nice as Heck was to help people like do what they love and promote doing what people love and doing more of whatever that was. And I don't want to make this sound like I'm spitting some corporate shit, because that's like the truth and like the heart behind it. And I think in our personal life, that's kind of going to take us wherever that may be. It's like whatever we like doing at the time, we're just going to keep doing it. So right now I like making clothes, and I like making videos, and then I also like doing graphic design stuff that isn't Nice as Heck related. So it's like, that's what I like doing, and I assume it'll always be changing, but I just want to be happy, I guess. Everyone.
Luckily, most of our friends are going to be out in the California area, at least for the next year, and Jordan and I are going to be based on the West Coast most likely, and we're going to keep the podcast up. Where this
podcast is here to stay.
It's not going away, folks. And yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful for these friendships, and I think that everyone's going to be continuing to grow their journeys, and we want to be involved as much as we can and lend a helping hand when we can, whether it's providing more podcasting for people to come on our show, whether it's doing the entries with people. I mean, we did one with Nomo, and that turned out great. So I think we're open, and we just want to be fans for everyone at the end of the day, and be their cheerleaders.
Right now is when like real collaboration starts, because we've always had the opportunity to, you know, work with all of our friends that have been so close to us, but now we are free of that limitation of school, so we can just get out and spend all that free time that we have now like working with people. So I mean, our intention is to write music for shows or commercials or whatever we can, just like get music out there in whatever medium seems fun, you know?
Yeah, I think just end all be all is like to keep playing music and having fun. For sure, like that's just whatever capacity that we can do it. I think like we all just love it so much that like we're not gonna stop, and like don't really have any plans on stopping, you know, at least like right now, and you know, just do whatever we can to keep having fun and making music and playing shows, and you know, we've been very fortunate. For sure.
The thing that made Freaky Tiki rewarding too, and makes all these shows so rewarding, is just like being able to be with those people. So whatever keeps us doing that is like perfect.
But as of now, we're all about just enjoying the people around us while we still have them here, having as much fun as possible, while still, you know, chipping away at where we want to be. But I think once we have our fun, once, you know, summer's tapering down, it's go time.
Damn, I'm getting sentimental now.
It's gonna be very sentimental.
Damn, well, because like it's kind of hitting me today too. It's like we have 3 weeks left, or 2 weeks, or whatever it is.
Basically 2 weeks.
Damn.
Final comments?
You're all gangsters.
Love you.
Whoever's watching this.
Yeah, now it's about to smash. Like garbage.
Shit like that, Jerem. Oh, hi. Welcome back to Kids. Follow your dreams. Yeah. Wanna get a mansion, a jacuzzi, a theater to watch my movies, couple whips and lots of fancy things. The kids they call the Goonies. I see the future, crystal ball, mirror hanging on. Sir, I graduate. Oh yeah.